In this video, I'm going to share 3 critical steps to staying consistent with your content in uncertain times. Let's get started. Hey there, my name is Daniel and welcome to another video on Uscreen Health and Fitness, where my goal is to help you as a fitness creator build an audience and make more money online. Being consistent with content creation can be hard enough when things are going just fine, but it can be even harder when the world is in the middle of a global pandemic. It seems like there are new developments and changes on a daily basis. Even I've struggled to stay on top of our content creation schedule because no one knows exactly what's going to happen next. It can be difficult to create and publish new content and feel good about it if you don't acknowledge what's going on and how it affects that specific topic. But we also need to consider that when this is all over and this content exists outside of quarantine life, will it still be relevant and helpful for that future audience? These are questions we're all wrestling with right now. It's not just you. Luckily, even with all of those concerns, it's still possible to be consistent even in the midst of uncertainty. The world is still spinning and there are still people who need your help as a fitness creator. At-home workouts are super popular right now, and I guarantee they won't become irrelevant just because people can one day go back to the gym. The pandemic is creating a new normal for all of us, which will inevitably push people to consider social distancing and home workouts as a more permanent and safe solution. Staying consistent isn't just about sticking to the routine or repeating the same visuals. A more important element of staying consistent is continuing to provide the same value for your audience as you would in normal circumstances. What I mean by that is, if you provided them with workout tips, give them tips on how to work out in what is often a limited and less than perfect space. If your value is getting the result, stick to the plan and hold your audience accountable and inspire them. They need it now more than ever. See where I'm going with this? The only way to truly stay consistent is to continue providing the same core value to your audience. And the best way to learn what your audience needs is to talk to them. First and foremost, you're a human being. So is your audience. When stuff hits the fan, it's endearing for them to see you be human too. Because whether you like it or not, your audience puts you on a pedestal, and uncertainty or a global pandemic are an opportunity for you to endear yourself to your audience by coming down off that pedestal and showing them that you bleed just like everyone else. That's also a huge first step in what I think might be the most critical part of remaining consistent with your content. Communicating with your audience. What are they feeling? What are they thinking? What are they experiencing? What are the shared bonds that are now tying them and you together? And let them know that you're not immune to these things either, and that's going to cause a shift in your content. Things are probably going to look different, as you may no longer have access to whatever studio you typically shoot in, or your camera gear might even be in a different location quarantined without you. Or maybe your video crew's in quarantine too, and you're having to shoot all of your new content yourself when you usually have a team to help. Things are different. Acknowledge it. Build discussion and community around a powerful shared experience we're all going to remember for the rest of our lives. And most of all, ask your audience what they need. Do they need specific home bodyweight workouts? Do they need nutrition guidance because grocery shopping is difficult and, items might be limited at the grocery store, and eating in quarantine is definitely one of my favorite activities, so you might just need a pep talk to stop eating. Or maybe they just need a sounding board. Or maybe a significant portion of your audience has lost their jobs and are in need of resources to help them get through this time, and you can lead a fundraising effort on their behalf. One of the best ways to get this kind of insight is to do a live Q&A with your audience. They undoubtedly have questions and would love to hear from you. You can even turn the format on its head and ask questions of your audience during the Q&A and look to the comments for their answers. Ultimately, each creator will have a unique experience in uncertain times, but we can all push forward with new and inventive ways to lead our audiences through it. Having the ability to adapt is what will set you apart in uncertain times. The honest truth is that we have no control over so much of what happens in the world. A year ago, we couldn't have foreseen a global pandemic that would shut down the entire world, and there's no telling where we'll be another year from now. But those who are adaptable and responsive to the changes in the world are the ones who can shine. If you can be adaptable and consistent with your content creation, your audience will continue to reward you. That could even mean you have to change the entire delivery method of your content, But as long as you continue to deliver the core essence of your content and your brand, your audience will follow and reward you for continuing to deliver value. We've seen this played out from local yoga practices all the way to the Pope shifting from in-person events and gatherings to live streaming their content. Vastly different examples, but both have changed their delivery method and dependency from in-person gatherings to digital video content where the essence and value of the content is still the same. This is the epitome of being adaptable to your circumstances, and it's one of the most critical factors to your ability to remain consistent in uncertainty. Batch production, or batching, is a powerful tool to help you stay consistent with video in times of certainty or uncertainty. The majority of the world's biggest creators use batching to get ahead and set themselves apart, and not lose their sanity in the process. Batching is when you shoot multiple videos at a time with the intent of publishing them at predetermined intervals. This allows you to stay ahead of schedule and proactively create, schedule, and publish content rather than being reactive and creating videos only when you need them. Batching allows you to stay ahead of schedule. In just a few days of production, you can knock out months worth of content. The beauty of this approach is that everyone is quarantined, not just you. Therefore, there's a mutual understanding and agreement with your audience that things aren't quite normal anymore, and your production may change a little bit in these uncertain times, but you should continue to create anyway. Your audience now, more than ever, is on the hunt for distractions, and you can provide that with your content. Sean Cannell at Think Media has talked about their approach for batching, especially when they attend conferences as a team. They'll often set up a dozen or more interviews with different creators and influencers. They spend 2 to 3 days at these conferences networking and shooting interviews. Often this means they'll leave a conference with enough content for 15 plus videos, and sometimes even more than that. If they post just one video a week, then in 2 to 3 days, they've created enough content to last them for almost 4 months. Could you be shooting 10 videos in a day or two of work? Or could you be interviewing a dozen people over the course of a few days via Zoom and then have enough content to last you months at a time? Even in quarantine, what could that do for your business if you don't have to worry about producing content for weeks at a time, maybe even months? In order to be successful with batching, I'd recommend doing a few things. Determine a sustainable pace. Figure out what pace works for you in terms of filming, editing, and publishing. That may be only 1 to 2 videos at a time, or it could be 10 plus. This is super subjective, so find what works for you. Prepare. When you've got a batch filming day coming up, you need to do the work to prepare video topics, outlines, scripts, B-roll, thumbnails. You also need to get any necessary equipment ready, like props, camera gear, fully charged batteries, which I'm terrible about, clear SD cards, digital storage space, and even wardrobe changes. Just be prepared. Block time. Set aside time and space in your schedule to do all of this work. Block off time for pre-production, production, and post-production. This requires high levels of intentionality and consistency, but it will help you get the work done. In less than ideal circumstances, you can batch content even if it has to be recorded from your living room. The video might be crappy as you get started in a new environment, but the key is to just keep creating. The world is unpredictable and ever changing, but you can do your part to remain consistent for your audience. Not to mention that creating content will help you hold on to whatever is left of your sanity when we come out of quarantine. Beyond a global pandemic, the ability to react to what's going on in the world, or even just in your industry, and to remain consistent is powerful. Things change, trends change, popularity shifts, platforms push updates, and you, as a creator, need to be responsive to those things. All of these tips will help you do just that. I like to try and be at least 1 month ahead of my publication schedule. Ideally 2 months or more if I can manage that, but even that can be a challenge at times. Life happens to all of us, and I try not to be too hard on myself or the people around me and just work quickly to get the work done. If you've got questions or concerns about being consistent during uncertain times or how to make this happen in your specific context, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I'd be thrilled to hear from you. No, really. I'm starving for social interaction besides my 2-year-old son, so please leave me a comment and let's chat. And while you're still here, if you're not subscribed to this channel, would you do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button right now? And if you want to stay notified about new videos when I post them, be sure to hit that notification bell as well. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.